it's amazing that you guys are so young. I mean, I think it's incredibly exciting, and it's great to not only welcome you to this program, but sort of to congratulate you on the fact that you're into this, that you're interested in it. And if you're anything like, well, you probably aren't, because I was certainly very confused when I was your age and trying to sort of figure out what I wanted to do. But what I wanted to say about that is, on the one hand, enjoy and have a great time jumping into this stuff. And also, hold yourself to a high standard, but don't intimidate yourself. Don't get so overwhelmed thinking, oh my God, this sounds like so much work. How could I ever get there? Break it down into smaller pieces and be gentle on yourself, but also know that that's part of what goes on in the real world. I mean, the real world, when you become the movie star and you get paid $10 million to do a movie opposite whomever your favorite actor is, the fact of the matter is they're going to hand you a script and they're going to say, arrive on this day. We expect you to have learned all your lines. We expect when we tell you the blocking, where you're supposed to move in a scene, that you'll be able to retain that. We expect that you're able to look at another person and listen and react to them. And we expect that you'll be able to go home and get some rest and be rested for the next day. So what I'm saying is those are pretty practical things that you're probably already doing here. Getting to class, make sure you prepared your assignment. That's what Mary means when it's not going to change. It may feel like, oh my God, I've got a trailer and I get to go get the free food and I'm acting opposite whoever you like, Tom Cruise or whomever. But the fact of the matter is, after that initial excitement, when you're doing what you want to do, then you go, oh yeah, and I got to come up with the goods, right? And whatever you want to get into, I don't care any profession, if you're a surgeon, the first time you have to perform surgery, or if you're a great sports person and they send you onto the team, you audition, you get onto that team. The reason you get onto that team is because you're bringing your A game to it. So they expect you to have the skills to bring your A game. So again, in some ways the pressure just gets higher. So what you want to learn now is to be kind with yourselves, but also, if you can, establish a good work ethic. Don't be hard on yourselves, but establish a high level of quality in terms of what you want to achieve. It's again about the small things. Do like Mary's saying, you're doing those little things to improve that they add up. And I think if you can remember that, it'll be, it's a roller coaster of a career, because basically if you're an actor, you're going into a career, unless you entirely create your own work, but even if you do create your own work, there's going to be a decent amount of people saying, I'm so sorry, you're not right for this part. And then you audition 6 more times that week and they say, nice work or not so good work, you're not right for this part. And then maybe they say, oh, you might be right for this part, and they call you back 2 or 3 times, and then they say, you're not right for this part. So that's a bummer. It's not an easy thing to do. But what you also want to remember is most of the people before you, whom you may or may not look up to, have gone through that. It's the nature of the business. By creating your own work, you can take control of a certain amount of that, but there's always going to be a certain amount of, you've got to have the chutzpah to keep going and keep a sense of what your standards are. I guess the final thing I'll say on that point is, there's going to be a lot of people in this world of entertainment who will tell you whether they think you're good or not. What you want to do is you want to have a very clear sense, or cultivate a very clear sense of, to yourselves, realistically and practically, but honestly to yourselves, looking in the mirror, what does it mean to me to be good and to hold myself to the highest level possible? You might also cultivate a trusted and respected group of friends, family, and professionals around you who can help you with that. Beyond that, be very careful, because there will be critics from newspapers, there will be producers, casting directors who say, you're no good, get out of the business. Don't let anybody ever tell you that. Don't let that affect you. You decide on your own terms. But part of the responsibility of deciding on your own terms is being honest with yourself, knowing that this is a business. you know? And I guess part of the hardest thing to realize is, at the end of the day, as much as we would like to feel that people in the business owe us something, they don't, sadly. And there may be times where you can earn a chit, you can earn somebody giving you something. You work, and then somebody says, absolutely, you've worked your ass off for me, I'm gonna give you this. And then you're owed something. But I've always found that it's sort of a waste of time to spend a lot of time with your friends or your family going, I'm owed this, why am I not? Because it's sort of, you know, the idea of glass half full or glass half empty. You know, you can say, oh, bummer, the glass is half empty. Or you can say, wow, there's so much possibility. And I'm just a regular person. We're all just regular people. And most of the stars, I think, or people whom you consider to be successful, deep down, I think they have a great, strong sense of humility. They might have a strong sense of taking themselves seriously, but when in doubt, it's about the work. So if you can retain that, it I think will be helpful. Try not to spend too much time with people who are extremely negative and saying, I'm owed. Hang out with those people who are like, yeah, man, let's do it. There's a lot of possibilities. We could do that. We could do that. What about that? Why don't we get up in the morning and do this? So that's why we're excited that you're here, because for us, you're the next generation of film theater and theater, film people and theater people and TV people and writers and directors and actors, and you're the next generation of those people. And that's, I think, what was kind of amazing for David Mamet and all those, and the people. I was not part of the original group, but Mary was, to have somebody who had just won a Pulitzer Prize for Glengarry Glen Ross say, I think you guys are the future of the American theater if you want to be. I think you're the future of American film if you want to be. And here's some ideas that we'll give you about how that might be possible.
Yeah, along those lines, I wanted to touch on this idea of community, which is, you know, there's a very good chance that you will all be working together again in the future. And I know some of you may be 16, it seems crazy. When I went to NYU, I sat in a room of 400 people, and I was, 18 years old, and they said, look around this room, you'll be working with these people for the rest of your lives. And it is absolutely true. Not only the people from the Atlantic Theater Company, but I just auditioned for a television show that's being directed by Jace Alexander. The list goes on of people who you will work with. And Neil, who's been to the Actors Theater of Louisville and Williamstown, you will be 6 degrees of each other for the rest of your careers. And so it's really important to take this opportunity. And if you can, commingle your groups to really get to know each other and start really forming those relationships, because they will be trusted, important relationships in your lives, no matter if you guys become actors, directors, writers, casting directors, or all of the above. I always feel the greatest part about being an actor is the sense of community. And I came to New York from a small island in Lake Erie, and it seemed so huge and overwhelming, and I feel very much a part of this community, and that it's smaller than I would have ever imagined. And along those lines, the reason that we talk about the history of the company is because, this, what is now an institution, was just an idea when we were your age, sitting in a room with, they were some amazing teachers, but with some teachers who kept saying, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And so, that's really why we came down today, is to say, we've entrusted Heather and her great taste to put all of you together, knowing that you guys are, it takes some chutzpah and some talent to get to, the Atlantic Theater Company in the middle of the summer. This is, a highly competitive program, so we have to believe that you guys are very serious about what you're doing. And so we're here to say, good for you. Keep driving. If you got yourself here, you can get yourself a theater in 20 years that's, thriving, or a film company, whatever you're dreaming about.